Hi everyone, and welcome to how to create a mountain landscape in a flat style using Adobe Illustrator. First, let's go ahead and create a new document, which is 1200 by 1200 pixels. Now that we have our document, let's go ahead and set up our layers. So let's click on the layers panel on the right here. And using this create new layer button, let's go ahead and click this 4 more times to create 5 layers. I'm just going to rename all of these. So double click on the layer to rename it. Now let's go ahead and lock these 4 layers here and select the lake layer that we're going to use for our lake. And let's go ahead and choose our color. So the first color that we're going to use, which is a light blue color, choose the rectangle tool here. I'm just going to create a long rectangle here and a smaller one here. Now we're just going to place the smaller lake underneath our big one. And then using the direct selection tool, let's go ahead and select this here. And using these circular widgets, we're just going to click and drag them along so that we can create a nice curved corner for our lake. Once you're happy with the positioning of our shapes, just go ahead and highlight both of these. And using the Pathfinder panel here, just going to click on Unite like so to create a full shape. Next, let's go ahead and duplicate this. So press Ctrl C on the keyboard, then Ctrl B on the keyboard to paste it behind. And then just going to press Shift and the down arrow to move it down slightly. And for this one, we're going to choose a darker color. And this will be the sort of shadow for our lake. Click the direct selection tool again and just click on the top edge of our lake. Press Ctrl C, then press Ctrl Shift V on the keyboard to paste it in place. And we're going to remove the color here and change the stroke to black. And let's create a width of 4 pixels. Next, go to Effect, Distort and Transform, Zigzag. And we're going to create a size of 3 pixels. And the ridges segment, we want to create it at 27. And we want to create a smooth wave here, like so. Then click on OK. Next, go to Object, Expand Appearance. And then we're just going to use the pen tool here to connect the first anchor point to the last anchor point, like so. Then use the eyedropper tool, click on your lake to select the color, and then we're just going to move this up to the very top of our lake. Let's go ahead and select both of these shapes, use the Pathfinder tool to unite, and then we're just going to press Ctrl C on the keyboard, Ctrl Shift V to paste it in place, and we're going to choose a lighter color for this one. So let's go ahead and click on the color picker here. Click OK, and then press Shift and the up arrow to move that up. And we're going to right click, arrange center back. Let's copy this one. So Ctrl C, then Ctrl B to paste it behind. Press Shift and the up arrow. And this time, let's go ahead and choose an even lighter color. Next, let's go ahead and create some details. So we're just going to use the ellipse tool here. And on top of our wave, we're just going to make a small ellipse like this. And then use the anchor point tool here, which is Shift C. And then just click on the right and left anchor points like so to create a leaf shape. And then we're just going to use the direct selection tool, click on the top anchor point and then press Delete. And then just to create the shape, just press Unite like so. And we're going to duplicate this shape. So press Ctrl C, then Ctrl Shift V 2 times, and then just move it across like so. So that's the first one, and that's the second one. And then just select all of these and press Ctrl G to group them. And now we've got our first detail here. Use the ellipse tool to draw out a longer shape like so. And then we're just going to use the anchor point tool to click on the top anchor point here to create that sharp point. And let's go ahead and change the color just to make it yellow. And then using the selection tool, we're going to duplicate this. So Control C, Control Shift V, and then just rotate this slightly like so. And then we're going to do the same again and then rotate it slightly again, just to make that sort of petal look. Let's go ahead and select all three of these, then press Ctrl G, Ctrl C, Ctrl Shift V, and then we're just going to right click this, transform, and let's go ahead and select reflect, choose vertical, click OK, and then just move this in line. Now let's go ahead and use the rectangle tool again. I'm just going to build a small rectangle here, and then using the round widgets again, just round them off, and then place this on top of our flower. And then just click on our flower again to select the color, and we're going to use the ellipse tool, hold Shift on the keyboard to create a small perfect circle, and just right click, arrange, and send backwards, like so. And once you're happy with that, let's go ahead and select all of these, press Ctrl G to group them, and now we've got our second and our first detail element for our lake. Awesome. Now I've just gone ahead and duplicated each of the elements that we've used and just placed them along the lake. Now let's create the elements for the meadow and the forest. So using a rectangle tool, make a vertical rectangle, and then make another smaller rectangle. And then using our direct selection tool, we're going to round off the corners. And also we're going to change the color of this one to something a little bit darker. And then using the pen tool, we're just going to draw out some leaves like so. So just draw out a leaf. So now we've got our first plant. Press Ctrl G while selecting all of our elements to group everything here like so. Next, let's go ahead and create our hill, and let's build a rectangle which is about, let's say, 82 pixels high and a width of about 78 pixels. So something like this. And then we're using the direct selection tool. Let's go ahead and select both of the top corners and select the round widgets like so, and then round them off. Excellent. Now let's go ahead and select a color for our hill. So let's double click on this, and then using the pen tool, just draw a straight line straight down along the center of our shape by holding Shift on our keyboard. And then using the selection tool, let's select our line and our hill. And then using the Pathfinder panel, all we have to do is click on the divide button here. And now we've got two separate shapes. So using the direct selection tool here, you can see we can separate them like so. Excellent. Now for our left shape here, let's go ahead and select that with our direct selection tool. And let's change this color, so something a little bit darker like so. And then with the ellipse tool here, let's go ahead and create some details. So holding Shift on the keyboard, just going to draw out a few of these small little circles like so. And now we've got two elements for our meadow. And we want to move these elements to our main layer. So let's go ahead and toggle the lock button here. Press Ctrl and X on the keyboard to cut them. Then select our main layer here. Then press Ctrl Shift V to paste them onto our main layer. Now you can see as we move them, they will be behind our lake like so. Now let's go ahead and create the grass for our design. So again, just making sure that we're working in the main layer. Let's go ahead and use the rectangle tool. And then using the circle widgets here, the corner widgets, we're just going to click and drag them to round off our corners. And then what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this. So Control C, then Control B to paste it behind. Press Shift and down on the keyboard. And we're going to change the color of this one, which is a slightly darker color. Let's go ahead and select both of these. Press Control G to group them. And we want to arrange this to the back like so. So now we've got our shoreline underneath all of our elements like that. Excellent. Now let's continue adding details to the shore. So using our star tool here, we're going to create some triangles. So just zooming in here like so. I'm just going to click and drag to create a triangle. Now remember to press the up or down arrow key to create your triangle whilst clicking and dragging. And then you can press shift on the keyboard to ensure that it is created in a straight line like so. Go ahead and add them to the shoreline like so. Excellent. Now let's go ahead and create some rocks. So using the ellipse tool, press shift on the keyboard, click and drag. Just going to create a rock which is, let's say, about 100 pixels wide like so. And we're going to change this color, and then we're going to create another rock. So let's go ahead and press Ctrl C, Ctrl V to paste it. Just make it a little bit smaller. Now what we can also do is use the direct selection tool and just clicking on the anchor point at the bottom, press delete just to make a semicircle like so. And then again, if you want, we can also go to the Pathfinder tool and use unite to create a shape out of it, just to close off the bottom. And now we can just go ahead and place them onto our shoreline. Next, let's go ahead and create more of our background. So using the rectangle tool again, let's go ahead and build another rectangle. So it's just something a little bit lighter. Then again, round off the corners using the direct selection tool and the widgets. And then we're going to send this to the back like so. And then just place it a little bit behind our elements. Now we're going to build our tree. So using the star tool again, just simply build out a triangle like so, holding shift on the keyboard to make sure it's straight. And we're just going to shape it a little bit. And then we're going to use the pen tool and then just draw a straight line straight down the middle of our triangle like so. Select both of these, and then using the Pathfinder panel, go ahead and select the divide button like so. Now let's go to the left half, and we're going to change the color of this one, so something a little bit darker. And now using the star tool again, let's go ahead and create some details for our tree. Next, let's go ahead and make a round tree. So let's go to the ellipse tool here. Now use the pen tool here, and we're just going to again draw a straight line down the middle of our circle. Select both of these and then click on divide to create two separate halves. Now again, just selecting the left half of our circle with the direct selection tool, press I on the keyboard and then select the color that we want to use, which is the left side of this triangular tree here. Now using the direct selection tool, select the left side of our circle so that we're using its color, and then use the rounded rectangle tool here to create some details. And now let's go ahead and create the trunk. So use the rectangle tool here. We're just going to create a small little trunk at the bottom here. Now all we have to do is place this into our scene. So we can go ahead and select all of these, arrange, send it to back, place this into our scene. Just press Ctrl C, Ctrl V to copy it, and then just sort of resize them as you wish, like so. Awesome. Once you've done placing the rest of your elements onto your scene, the next thing we need to do is create the hills. So let's go ahead and lock the main layer here. And then on the hills layer, let's unlock this and make sure it's selected. And then we're just going to use the pen tool here, click, and then press shift on the keyboard to drag horizontally like so. And then go over to the left of your first anchor point, then click, shift, and drag the anchor point again, like so. And then all we have to do here is then click on the anchor point again, and then close off our hill, like so. Excellent. Now what we can do is we can also use our selection tool here, or V on the keyboard, and then just sort of reshape our hill as we want. We can also change the handles like so, just manipulating our hill. And then once you're happy with the overall shape, press Ctrl C on the keyboard to copy it, press Ctrl Shift V to paste it, and then just go ahead and flip this around. So go to Transform Reflect, and then reflect vertically. And then we're just going to move the second half of the shape into place, like so. Now let's go ahead and create a pathway. So let's change our color from a fill to a stroke, like so. And using a stroke width of about 9 pixels, let's go ahead and draw out a little pathway here, like so. And then press A on the keyboard to use the direct selection tool. And we can also select the corners here, so select both of these corners and round them off like that. Select your pathway, go to Object, Expand, and then choose Fill and Stroke. Now let's go ahead and delete the unwanted part of our path here at the top. So just zooming in here, what we want to do is we want to select both the path and our hill. Then using the Shape Builder tool here, or Shift M on the keyboard, just simply select the top part of the shape here, press and hold Alt on the keyboard, and then select it to delete it, like so. Excellent. Now just select our first hill here, right click, arrange, bring to front. So once you've filled out the rest of your scene with some extra hills and trees, the next thing we want to do is create some mountains. So let's go ahead and lock the hills layer, select the mountains layer, unlock that, and then use the star tool to create a triangle. Next, we're going to go ahead and create the top of this mountain. So using the line tool, let's go ahead and click and drag a line here like so. And we want to make sure that this line is a stroke. And let's go ahead and color this stroke black. Like so. And then let's make sure that the stroke is about 4 pixels wide. And if we select both the stroke and the triangle, we want to go ahead and align these to the center. Select the stroke again, and let's go to the Effect, Distort and Transform, Zigzag, and let's change the size to 10, and we want the ridges per segment to be about 9, like so, and we want it to be smooth. Click OK. Now before we do anything else, we want to copy this triangle shape. So select the triangle, press Ctrl C, and then just press Ctrl V just to have a copy on the side like so, just in case. And now let's go ahead and select both of these shapes, go to our Pathfinder tool, and then click on Divide. Now we've got the top shape here. Let's go ahead and select this and change this color, and now we have a snowy top. Now let's go ahead and separate these shapes. So let's select that, right click, ungroup. Now we're just going to use this triangle, this duplicate triangle here, to create some depth for our mountain. So let's copy this triangle, and now let's change the color here to 8F8876. Move this on top of our mountain and change the width to make it narrower, like so. And then let's duplicate this triangle again. So let's press Ctrl C and then Ctrl V to duplicate it. Make this a little bit more narrower. And then let's change this color to 87806C. Move this on top of our mountain. And just sort of slightly changing the widths of these triangles like so. Make sure that the top of our mountain is sent to the front, and we're just going to select all of these shapes here, and using our horizontal alignment tool to the center, we can go ahead and snap these all together like so. Now I'm just going to bring this out of our scene here, and I'm just going to select both of these triangles so that they are aligned at the bottom like so. Next we're going to use this last triangle here. We're going to draw a straight line going down the middle like so, and let's go to our Pathfinder tool and divide this. And let's go ahead and remove the right side of this triangle. And we're going to change this from a normal blending mode to a multiply blending mode. And then we're going to move this to the top of our mountain, like so. And change the opacity, something like 25%. Excellent. So now we've got some depth for our mountain. Once you're happy with the way that it looks, let's select all of these shapes here, press Ctrl G to group them together, and then just sort of move this into place where you want it. Excellent. And then once you're happy with that, the next thing we want to do is create the sky. So let's lock the mountains, select the sky layer, unlock that, and all we want to do here is select a new color, which is 77B8CC, and then using the rectangle tool, we can just fill up the rest of our document with this sky color. I'm just going to use the rectangle tool and just draw out some shapes here, like so. Just drawing these rectangular shapes here. And then once you're happy with that, using the direct selection tool, round off the corners using the corner widgets. And with this particular shape here, we're just going to select all 3 of those shapes, use the Pathfinder tool, unite them, and then we're going to select these corners inside here, round them off, and then just selecting the other corners and rounding them off individually, like so. Just make sure you select both corners. Excellent. And then once you're happy with that, the next thing we want to do is we want to create some clouds. So let's select a dark stroke here, like so. And then just using the rounded rectangle tool, let's go ahead and zoom into our illustration here, and then just draw out the shape of a cloud. So I'm just going to round off the corners completely, and then just use the ellipse tool here to draw 2 circles, like so. And then just bringing these shapes in, like that. And then once you're happy with the way that your cloud looks, just select all 3 of your shapes, like so. Go to the Pathfinder tool, unite them, and then just change the stroke to a color. And let's change this color to a very near white, like so. Excellent. And now we can zoom out and just place our clouds wherever we want, like that. Excellent. We can also resize our clouds just to add a little bit of variety. Next, let's go ahead and create the sun. So let's use the circle tool again, and we're just going to draw our sun out here, like so, just holding Shift on the keyboard to create a perfect circle. And we're going to go ahead and use the pen tool here to draw a line right down the middle of our sun. Now let's go ahead and make sure that these 2 elements are aligned to the center, like so. And then let's go to our Pathfinder tool, like here, and then click on Divide. And now let's go ahead and create another circle, which is going to be slightly bigger than our first. And let's go ahead and send this and arrange this to the front. And now with our second circle selected, let's go to Effect, Distort and Transform, Zigzag. And over here we want to change the zigzags to a size of 5 pixel, ridges equal to 10, and let's select a smooth zigzag. Once you've done that, select OK, and now we can group these together. Excellent. And let's zoom out and place our sun where we want it. Awesome. So that's it for this tutorial. I hope you had fun with this project, and I'll see you next time on Tuts Plus.